Right, guys, welcome back. This is the Above Average FPL podcast. My name's Adam, and as always, joined by Baker. How you doing, man?
Very well, very well. Feels like a long time since the last game week.
I
Do you know
feel
what I mean?
quite, I feel quite energetic now. I've actually kind of like, literally,
Yeah,
I'm green arrows. Green arrows is green. You can see the color behind me again. That's what I'm thinking. I'm getting that positive vibes in there. I'm feeling
it's
good.
happening.
I'm feeling good
It's
about this
happening.
week, mainly because people are struggling to get to City strikers, and I've got two of them, and it's all nice. I like it. I hope people take loads of hits this week. Honestly,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
really do.
Well, I think people will. I think, but obviously, a lot will depend on what we find out tomorrow about Mr. Haaland. Um, I think there's a lot of people that because you start working for your plans, like I'm in this zone where it's like, it'd be quite nice if he's out now because I've kind of made some feelings of what I might do if he is. But there's another part of me that's like, no, I don't really want to lose Erling. I don't really want to lose him. Um, I think it makes it I think it actually makes it very convenient for a lot of people this week if Haaland's out. Um, because obviously we've got still got a blank next week.
Yeah.
All of our teams will be worse next week if we keep Haaland. Um, that's just what it is. Um, and so yeah, I don't know what I want, but when you see like 10,000 people an hour are taking out Haaland out, and I think it's like well over 500,000 have already done so. Um, I can't work out. Do you think Haaland will be over 100%?
Surely not. Unless, well, the thing is what I've noticed, because where I am rank wise is obviously like Haaland's like 150 every week for me.
Hmm.
Trying to recall. I mean, with the auto sub last week, actually, I don't even know if it's really going to tell me what it was, but every week, like Haaland is huge at 5 million. So
Hmm.
you can imagine at 5 million and up. I think somebody put a tweet out on here where like the Salah and Haaland ownership sort of crossed over,
Right.
and I saw that. I can't remember who it was, but that was a nice little graphic just to show at what rank it kind of crossed over, and you could see the significant difference, and you could see as you obviously got higher towards 10 million and stuff, like nobody owned Salah and everybody owned Haaland type thing.
Yeah. Because
It was it
we're
was
still
kind of like
short
that.
enough in the season that there'll still be a huge amount of zombie teams, even in the way up to the top few hundred K. There'll still be zombie teams and stuff, and all those zombie teams would add Haaland's cap.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm trying to work it out. Like, I think if I
Any
think Pep,
reasonable rank, any reasonable rank, I think he'll probably be about 75.
oh, I think it's well. I
Well,
think if
I don't know actually,
if he
because
says he's playing, I mean, if he says he's playing
he'd be back.
tomorrow,
He'd be back up to like 120.
yeah. I think if he says that
If he's out,
let's see.
how many people do you think are going to be actively? I think more. It's difficult because
Yeah. I mean, the ownership
the
doesn't matter
community
as
is
much, does it? If
strong.
he's if he's out, then
If he's
then
out, it doesn't
then
matter.
it ends up zero at the end anyway.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'd kind of like him to make it a little bit hard tomorrow.
yeah.
Let's see. The good old let's see. And I
Well,
expect he will.
here he is. Here he is. This was apparently at 4 o'clock today. And so there was some detective work done here.
Mm,
FPL community is good at detective work. There's always someone
we
that's
love it.
tracking flights and doing all that sort of stuff. And that's exactly what Dan did. So FPL mate, I mean, it's definitely a TLDR, but basically, he figured out that if we go back to the top image, this at the back is a Spanish airline, only
Hmm.
operates out of Sevilla and Malaga.
Hmm.
So you know, so he just found
And
out
that's where he's been. He's
he's been in
been this week.
Marbella, yeah,
Yeah.
and Dan found his flight as you do. It was getting in at like I don't know 8 o'clock
7
tonight,
o'clock tonight. Yeah,
yeah,
7, I think.
7 something like that. So he definitely hasn't trained. We know that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's not going to play. Like the requirements for someone like Haaland to play versus someone like Rodri or
Yeah.
Foden, right?
Yeah.
You know, I can guarantee. I mean, I don't have the numbers, but I guarantee he does 70% of the running. Granted,
exactly.
to be fair, granted he does most of it at high speed, but again,
I
like City
mean,
control games as well, so maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just does, a decent amount of moving, and he doesn't do much running. So as long as he's okay, then
there's so much to read in it. Even like the little wink here, the little
yeah, yeah,
wink.
yeah,
I'm like, are you telling us? Are you
yeah.
telling us, Erling,
I'm on
that
my
you're
way
planning or
home.
not? I do think that as well. I looked at the Club World Cup for the first time. I hadn't actually looked at when their fixtures were. So they play Tuesday, Friday. I don't see there's a way he's playing Tuesday and Friday. I actually feel like it's better for them to play Saturday, Friday.
Yeah.
So it definitely wouldn't surprise me. So, and the Tuesday game is against either the Japanese champions
Oh,
or
who
the
gives a shit,
Mexican
mate? Yeah,
champions.
whatever, whatever. Like
Yeah,
City are miles better than either of those teams. No,
either of
I
those.
don't even want to say
So,
no disrespect. It's like full disrespect. They're just not going to be as good.
yeah. But bearing in mind, it's out in Saudi. Yeah, it's City.
I've,
I expect that uh, I expect that they would want them to make an appearance. I would expect that they would be saying, "Look, do
ugh,
something."
could it be 30
Um,
minutes off the bench? I mean, if he was not going to play this weekend for sure,
hmm.
then what benefit is training with the group at all this week? Why didn't he just go to Marbella and then disappear off to Saudi? Like, just go
Yeah, yeah,
direct.
meet them there. Meet them there.
I'll see you there, boys.
Exactly. Exactly. Especially because he's been out there, nice warm weather, plus
Yeah,
doing his ice baths and all that stuff. Like sunny there.
yeah, yeah.
Is I think I think there's a strong chance that we find out tomorrow that he plays. But what I also think is we almost know he's back for 19.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I
Yeah,
don't think there's a
provided that
world that we find out tomorrow it's going to
nothing
be.
happens in the next week, we just assume. I mean, I guess it's
Mm.
they're not injured until they're injured type vibe. I guess like once he's back,
But
he's back.
if you're Judge Him Anderson, yeah, you're now putting yourself, Judge
Yeah, yeah.
Anderson, what are you doing Saturday?
I'm treading on his feet like
I
constantly.
am at first corner. I am all over it. I am
Yeah,
stamping his foot. I'm stamping, stampy, stamp, stamp, stamp. Um, so there is that. There is that piece to it.
oh, but
For
football's a
us
lot
to,
nicer now, isn't it? People are a lot nicer. They don't do that kind of thing.
mate, that somebody's standing on his foot. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Whatsoever. So, plan is there any way in which you cap him this weekend? So Haaland
Nah,
says, so Haaland, we get all the indications that he's starting.
no,
Would you cap him?
no, no. I still don't cap him now this week. I just, a fit Salah against decrepit United is a much more promising prospect. I'd add that to the fact the last two times Salah's played United, I've gone against him and he's absolutely battered me. So,
Yeah.
I've got pain there in the back of my head, saying
He's got
just don't
history.
get
You've got
against him.
history.
Exactly.
Um,
And look, he's not like whether he plays or not, he's not 100%, right? He can't be 100%. I mean, I know I guess the argument will be if he starts, then he's technically past medically fit as 100%, but he still had stress on his bone or whatever. So,
yeah.
Salah's fine. Salah's fit. He's rested completely today, I think. I don't know whether he came on. I saw they got
No,
beat, did they not?
they got beat, but they
But it
put,
didn't matter.
didn't matter.
So, Salah, full week rest. Happy days.
Do it. So Salah cap, not Son.
I toyed with it. But there's a lot of stuff going around. I mean, here's the Salah information, right, from Fantasypedia, showing the chances conceded by Liverpool, and more than 70 down that right hand side, only 48 down that left.
Yeah.
Basically because they haven't had a left back for 4 months, and Wan-Bissaka's a good one-on-one defender. So, yeah, his positioning is not great, but he can tackle. So, yeah, it's Salah. And when I saw Fantasypedia did it as well. Who else did it? Gabriel did it as well. From that whole all the matchup data shows that same thing for Forest. Like that right hand side of Forest or their left side is weak, which is great for Porro and whoever plays on the right hand side, Brennan. It's all kind of good stuff there. That's where Tottenham could potentially create chances.
I
Son
always
plays
get
middle and
those.
left. Maybe, I don't know.
I always get those, but I always think that managers aren't idiots. Like, would you be surprised if Dalot plays left back against Liverpool on the weekend?
No,
Because
but I don't think.
that's what any reasonable person would do. Is sure looks like he's out.
Yeah,
So you play Wan-Bissaka and Dalot, don't you? And you play two right-footed fullbacks, one that comes in
yeah, yeah,
deliberately to try and do that cutting. Like there is a world where potentially they are literally going, and they've played that many times. Uh, I can't see past Mo, but would it do I think it's completely out of the question that Dallo goes left back and does a good job on him? I think that could happen too.
yeah. No, that's fair. That is fair.
Um,
I mean, I would love to captain Son. Obviously, I've just brought him in. Um,
mm,
sorry for the spoiler. I mean, I did it on Sunday before we even streamed on Sunday. So, I have got Son now.
yeah,
I'm kind of leaning on the fact that I might break him as well. That kind of thing.
don't
But
do that for us, mate. Don't do that for
no,
us.
I don't want to do that for Tottenham more than anything.
Yeah.
But no, I think Salah's
Sounds like,
far away. I think Salah's far and away the best captain choice this week.
yeah, I think so. It makes complete sense. Completely rested, um, up against Man United. And look, do we expect Liverpool to score? Yes. Then once they do score, any kind of good plan goes out the window, like real quickly. And you just expect it. I do think it'll be for Forest. I think they played like three at the back and then like Neko as right wing back, and I think it'll be something like that again for them this week. So with three at the back and five at the back effectively for Forest,
Yeah,
that would put me off it. That puts me a little bit off of it because I think they'll double up on the wide guys. Um, uh, it sounds like Sergio Aurier might not make it, so therefore I'm assuming it's Neko. But you'd want Son up against Neko. That sounds fantastic, albeit there'll be another
there's a
defender
second
that sits
defender
behind it.
waiting there for him. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. No, so yeah, I say Salah far and away for me.
easy,
Good stuff.
easy one for it.
Well,
Yeah,
that's the nice and easy stuff. Let's just say hello quickly, everyone in the chat. Hello. Thanks for joining us this evening. If you haven't done so already, the same spiel as always. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all the good shit. It's Christmas. It's time for giving. We're giving away loads of stuff. I text Baker earlier telling him how much we spent on postage in the last 6 weeks. It's fucking insane, which is brilliant. Love it. And
we do love it.
we do love it, to be fair. It is good fun. Seeing all the coasters and mugs and stuff like that. So if you do
Yeah,
want one, there's giveaways all the time. So just keep an eye out. Just not tonight. We're having a day off because I did 2 in 2 days. So having a day off.
yeah,
But yeah,
yes.
hit like, hit subscribe, do that good stuff.
Do that good stuff. Games then.
We look at the games. I mean, the first thing it says to me is like the big teams are going to score a lot of goals.
And no cleans.
And no cleans anywhere.
Because the two teams that look like cleaning this week are Chelsea and Man City. And nobody's got any of their defenders.
Yeah. So it doesn't really matter.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's what, 1, 2, 3,
Well,
4, 5,
Liverpool actually
6,
is
7.
well, I suppose like it's
There's-
weird because their expected goals conceded is like 1.1 Liverpool's, except they've got the same chance of a clean sheet as Palace. Feels odd.
There's 9 teams there with 20% or below chance of clean sheet. Like that's not a clean sheet.
It's gonna
Like,
be a fun weekend.
so, and then effectively above 40%. I always think once you start getting 40%, you're like, yeah, that's a good clean fixture. You've only got Chelsea at 47% and Man City at 52% chance for clean. So nobody else, Bournemouth at 39 if you want to look at a Senesi of the world. If you were punting on the cheap, the fixtures are all right. If you were looking at thinking, I need free money up for something else later.
Is it like Luton,
It's
Forest, and West
and
Ham?
Fulham, I think
Fulham?
maybe. Yeah,
Luton, Forest,
they've
Fulham.
yeah, Luton Forest Fulham. Um, albeit, lots of these smaller teams, as it were, or lower teams, they're scoring goals. We've seen Fulham have managed to do back-to-back 5 goals. Like that shows as a green fixture for some of these teams. I'm not sure it's that green at the moment playing Fulham. I don't think if I was a Newcastle fan, I would be massively confident about playing Fulham. At the moment when they're just coming off rested between back-to-back fives, whereas they're on the arse.
Yeah,
They,
and obviously Trips
it's
goes off in the week as well.
yeah. Gordon,
Um,
we don't
Gordon, we don't know,
know.
but we kind of
Just on
just
the Gordon
assume.
one, I can't remember if I mentioned it on the pod or not, but I text Zoff during the first half of the Spurs game, and that last 10 minutes of the first half, I was convinced he wasn't coming back out because he couldn't run. He literally couldn't even get up to a pace, and I was like, that's tightness. Like he's gonna go if he even tries. And he didn't made no runs, and I was like, he's never coming out second half, but he did, and he was quite free. So it looks like there's something there, but it's almost manageable, maybe. So I don't think what's happened in the week was necessarily new, but I do think it's just a continual problem that he's just playing, 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 playing. But like they need to win.
I mean
Now they're
that
out
game
of
at the
Europe.
weekend though, that game at the weekend, like Fulham aren't going to play the same way as Spurs, and Gordon was doing a lot of pressing against us in that first half. He
Yeah.
was doing a lot across the line, a lot of running. So maybe it would just suit. Maybe it would be better in a game where they've got more control at home. Obviously, like Champions League, like better quality and all
Yeah.
that. But at home, maybe he won't have to do as much of that high pressing because they'll have more
But
of the ball.
because it's at home, you're not going to find nothing out. Because they could even rest him from training. They could even just say turn up Sat. Like he doesn't need to train tomorrow. He can just, is so that you might get things saying, oh, he's not on the grass, as it were. I still think he could start Saturday. So
Mm.
I think if you got him, you
You
just
get
got
you
to go
getting
with it.
nothing from Howe anyway, regardless of what. I mean, he could literally be on the training pitch and you still wouldn't get him. You still wouldn't get
Yeah,
anything.
exactly,
He's on the
exactly.
training pitch. We're just trying to get him up to speed, and he's not on the
Yeah,
training pitch. Well, we've got to manage our players and whatever.
yeah. I Quite a few people on the Gordon ones cut off the last sentence. Ben Dinnery did not cut off the last sentence, which basically said Gordon said he thinks he's fine.
Yeah.
That was Gordon's word, and that's important. That's important that he thinks he's fine. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like he knows it and is able to manage it well enough to not put himself in the position where he's gonna um, get himself injured. So
I mean,
I
their
expect him
schedule's
to
going to
start
get
that.
better as well. I mean, their schedule will get better. They've had a really it's their first season in Europe for God knows how long. They've had good runs in the. They're obviously still in the Carabao, right?
Mm.
Or are they
But that's an
out?
issue because
Just
that's
in,
no,
still in.
no. They got
Yeah.
Chelsea in midweek.
Yeah. So for now, they're still in. But look, that will come. When I say schedule will change, come January time, they just have to get through January basically, get to
Yeah,
that little mini break that's there, and they'll be fine 1 game a week for the rest of it. They'll be
mm,
fine, I think.
I
Um,
think so.
so it's just kind of get through this. Doesn't really help us this week, obviously, but
No,
just get through. I mean, he's one of few people that I do still have flagged. Obviously, I've got Haaland flagged, but
yeah.
yeah,
I think you play whatever Newcastle assets you've got, you play them. Um, this week it's still okay, but yeah, look at these teams like Bournemouth. We've got expected goals 2.1, Chelsea 2.6, Man City 2.8, Arsenal 2.25, Liverpool 2.8. We're expecting big things from a number of the attacking teams, and
mm,
Tottenham obviously at 1.95, even Villa 1.7. Like
that's quite high,
it
that's quite
screams
high for them
goals.
away from home. I don't know how
Yeah,
whether there should be a weighting here, home to away. I guess there should
yeah.
be some kind of weighting in there for that. Hmm.
So I do think it is a good week again if you are having to take a hit because you've got these flag players and do that. I think it's a good week for
Yeah.
it. I think there's plenty of good fixtures. The issue is probably that the where it's not so good is in defence. Where it's
Yeah,
not so good is in defense. It really isn't. So if it's a defensive move, my only feelings for this week are make sure it's not just for this week. It's not
yeah,
just
yeah.
for
Go,
Christmas
go, go long
type
term.
things. Yeah,
Look at like a Villa defender for
yeah,
18. Get 18 out of it. There's better
yeah,
fixtures coming up for many. Obviously, Bournemouth got a good few fixtures coming up. Arsenal's fixtures are
yeah.
still good if you haven't got an Arsenal defender yet.
And they're just good, in
Yeah,
terms of defense.
and Newcastle's
But,
fixtures will get better, and hopefully for them, I guess players will start coming back. And Chelsea's
well,
run is really good if you can get the right one.
if you can get the right one, but we don't know. And the same thing on Newcastle though is most people probably haven't got the right one, and
Yeah,
because it sounds like Botman's back just about. So therefore Lascelles might become an issue again, and Byrne he came on, so he's definitely
yeah, back.
um back. So yeah, I mean I'm assuming Livramento plays right back this weekend. So that's fine. But yeah, it would be Villa defenders, Arsenal defenders, Tottenham. We've talked enough about Tottenham defenders to say why we think they're good. That's probably all the places I'll go.
So just kind of interesting this actually. Nkunku's in the mix here, which I think is really interesting. I mean, obviously, I think he deserves to be in the mix now if he's fit. I can't see him starting, but he seems in contention. And this feels like a game where if you get a half out of him, like if they farm out Jackson for a half and then farm out Nkunku for the second half or whatever, it's got to be a game where they can do that, where they should, in theory, be able to steamroll Sheffield United. And
Yeah,
I've heard people say, "Oh, it's all changed now. Chris Wilder's back." I mean, it's still the same players, and he still needs a bit of time to work it. He knows the club, but the players are different, right? So he still needs some time.
yeah, I do think that, but I also do think like we haven't seen, Chelsea. They're not in like a magnificent space where you'll be like, yeah, yeah, I expect them to just blow this team away.
Like
It's
2 weeks ago, they scored
definitely
4 against City.
yeah, yeah, but they also conceded 4.
Yeah, of course.
Um,
But we're talking about forwards here. We're talking about
yeah,
attackers.
yeah. Oh, it's good. It's good, but are you seeing enough from Chelsea that says that you can happily bring them in and you know exactly what's going to happen with them forevermore?
Nah. Annoyingly, like the Sterling benching last week was just like, because otherwise
Yeah.
I think Sterling would have been the one, right? And I think if
Oh,
Nkunku gets up and running,
100%.
like imagine, so Nkunku comes in, like imagine Nkunku starts this week, scores 2, like it's gonna be like mental.
Yeah, I think a lot of us all think that Nkunku will make everything better, and it'll be good, and it won't just make it better for him. It'll be like it make everything clear as to yes, he's going to play there and he's going to do this and do this. I just think you don't have to be the first one on with this.
Nah, fair.
And one of the things to also think about is that Palmer is on 4 yellows. So we could still miss Palmer in 18. That
Yeah.
which is a problem.
Yeah, he
It's a
just needs to
big
swerve the
problem.
yellow here, doesn't he? We really do need him to
Please,
swerve the yellow.
please swerve the
Just
yellow.
do nothing.
Carl, we don't want you out next week because we need the points.
Yeah.
Um,
I can see
yeah,
it now. I can just see him getting booked for something stupid, and then the Twitter timeline just like all the way
yeah,
down.
that starts to become a big problem. And it is something to weigh in your brain when it's the Haaland, how much do we know? How much do we not know? Place as well. So the hit, as it were, that you might end up doing with Haaland might easily be paid for by the fact that you've got enough players next week.
Yeah,
If
there
it's
is
a
that.
50-50 decision and we don't have any definitive answer around Haaland, and you've got Palmer in your team and you've got Alvarez in your team, for example, I'm talking to you, him.
Yeah, I got Foden as well.
But many people have got many people have got Alvarez, Haaland, and Palmer. Um, if Palmer gets booked, then that's free gone immediately. So you're already into your Cabores and
Yes.
Taylors and Archer and all of those type of
Yeah, yeah.
players. So and if you've got other injuries in your team, it's a problem. So it's definitely something to be wary of. Um, but you'd like to think Palmer's thinking, it's home to Sheffield United. I don't need to do this. I don't, is
They'll just get
I won't
themselves. They'll
get
get themselves caught into a position where they're like 2-1 down with 20 minutes to go, won't they? And
I,
then somebody will be running out of defence, and he'll be the last man. He just has to, well, not the last man, but he'll just have to pull a shirt or something like that.
yeah,
It's gonna be something fucking stupid,
yeah.
like that. Unfortunately, I reckon. But
Um,
anything surprising you here, or anything that's like jumping out at you here, other than
yeah. Just
like,
just obviously that
lots of good stuff.
Haaland's not on there as yet because
Yeah, I mean, you
they're not
just
there.
assume he's like 1 point, well, probably like 0.99 or whatever.
I just look at when it's Liverpool Man United. I think Man United will score. I do think Man United will score. It's not the same. Like I know that they were terrible at home to Bournemouth, but it's not the same. Yeah, we've been the world's worst teams on earth, but when we come up against Arsenal, we don't just go have, have your own way. We're gonna fight. And this is as big for Man United fans as North London
Yeah,
Derby is for this. Like, let's not make. I do think they will fight for it. I think that makes Salah an even better captain choice because it takes away 12 off the bonus from Trent, the likes of Trent, for example. Um, and I just look at it and think there's a 59% chance he scores. So I'm feeling like he's on 7 points before he starts. Um, kind of. That's what I'm putting in there. Plus maybe one or two bonus. It feels like 9 points is like a floor almost, is what I'm expecting from Salah this weekend. As opposed to that immediately means that like Haaland's got a brace basically because he never gets 9 points from a one goal.
yeah,
That never happens because he's not in a
because he
team
misses
where
too
they
many
just score
chances.
one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and they're going to score a lot more than one goal this
yeah, yeah, yeah,
weekend.
exactly, exactly.
Um, so I think for me, it's just never going to be worth the risk that I would go Haaland over Salah this
Yeah,
weekend. Um, Other than that, Big Dom. And Big Dom's
yeah,
what makes it gone disconnected. Someone in the chat saying you need to put some more 50p's in the meter. Just 2 meters up north.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we should be back up now.
Gone
We
to
are
watch
should be
Black
back up now.
Rocks.
God, fuck off. Ah, probably heard that as well because we're live.
Hilarious.
Brilliant.
We're back. We're
Yeah, yeah. I
back.
don't know.
We're
I don't know what
back.
happens occasionally when I click into OBS. It just lets it for some reason. It clicks the stop streaming button. I need to find a way of not happening because it's happened way too often recently. I need to go back to the old
Oopsie.
stream deck, don't I?
You do. You
Yeah.
do. Um, so Solanke, really good option, easy option. Um, Watkins, if you think that you would captain Watkins in 18, because I think a lot of people are thinking about captain in 18, and you haven't got him, he's obviously still really obvious. Um, yeah, I don't think I could go near the Newcastle strikers still. It's just there's just too much tiredness there for me.
Mm.
If I was looking to go somewhere else with the Haaland money, I think it would just be Solanke or Watkins. And if you've got them both already, I genuinely would probably just keep Haaland then and work it out somewhere else in your team
Yeah.
because you've got pretty much what are expected to be like the best two strikers in 18.
Yep. 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 Yep.
All
Yep.
good. What are you doing?
My team.
Yeah.
So at the moment, this may change. My keeper may change because Areola was back on the bench, which is normal Europa League fare for West Ham, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I may just swap him out anyway because if he doesn't play, that's fine as well, and then I get Dubravka because I'd rather have Areola against Wolves than Dubravka against Fulham. I think with their injuries,
I'm not sure. I'm not
but
sure I can.
I'm doubled up on Newcastle defence against Fulham. So Dubravka and Cher and Gabriel. Brighton have scored in the last 23 league games. Perfect. Simicast, Man United will score. Perfect. Midfield of Foden, Palmer, Gordon at the moment flagged, Son and Salah, who have captaincy on. Son came in for Bruno on Sunday because Son's price dropped on Saturday, which I was previously priced out of doing, which I would have done in game week 16, probably, had I been able to afford it. Bastard. Anyway, Alvarez and Watkins up top. I've got Kabore first bench, Anderson second bench, Haaland third bench at the moment. That's where I'm sitting. I've got no free transfers left. I've got no money in the bank. I've got nothing. I've got no points. I've got really shit OR. I've got nothing. So I'm just basically
no.
I'm on fumes. I'm on fumes right now. And we'll see where this goes.
And if Haaland comes back in, so if he's okay, who drops to the bench?
Probably Gordon.
And if Howe somehow does say that Gordon's okay,
Palmer.
Wow, what, Palmer against Sheffield United?
Probably, yeah.
Big.
I mean, look, if he's fine, if he's fit and fine, yeah. I mean, it might still be Gordon. In fairness, actually, it might still be Gordon.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's tough between those three.
I think. I
mean, it could,
even
it could
if he
be
says he's playing,
it could be Watkins.
It's limited. Right? Yeah. Oh, you definitely could.
Could be Watkins. Villa away.
I think it could.
Right.
But we just saw it. The predictions aren't there. You've got to remember Brentford aren't the same team. They're not.
Yeah, that's annoying.
And Villa, like, they got so much momentum with them in this league. They're going to just keep pushing for everything. Yeah, I think it has to be Gordon. If Haaland's okay, but it's good enough that it therefore means that you don't need to hit, do you?
No.
Good position, mate. Good position.
Good position. I'm so happy I'm here. In fact, I'm so far behind everyone. I'm now ahead. That's where I am. I'm so far behind. I'm now ahead.
Told you the redemption arc's going to be sweet.
Yeah. Yep. Sweet. I don't know whether Joe is saying lads like he wants our attention, or he's just saying lads.
I'm going to say
lads.
Wants to tell us we're lads.
Sounds good to me. Your team, sir?
So I've not made transfers yet, because mine is very much based on Haaland news. I have one free transfer, 1.6 million in the bank. I've got Dubravka over Areola. I think it's, I just don't, West Ham don't keep cleans. So I'll go with the team. I'll just go with a better team. Yeah, because if I didn't own Share, I wouldn't even question it. If I'm honest, the only reason why I potentially would do it is like, well, I can have a piece of that pie and have a piece of that pie. And for once, they'll pay, because normally one new cost defender wouldn't get you anything, but probably will this weekend. So I've got Saliba, Cher, Porro, Simicast. They're my four. I've got four at the back again. Palmer, Bowen, Salah, Cap, Son. And I've got Haaland and Watkins in my team at the moment. And I've got Morgan, Gibbs, White first on my bench. We all know what's happening with Morgan. We all know that he's going to return tomorrow night. It's just absolutely mandatory. And then I've got Archer and Kabore, so don't worry about them.
Yeah.
Gibbs White will not be in my team come tomorrow night. One way or another, he won't be in my team. So I've got a couple of decisions to make. If Haaland's out, I think I would just go the easier routes, and I would do Haaland to Solanke, and I would do Gibbs White to Saka.
Yep. Makes sense.
Nice, easy, done. All the pretty things covered. No fun, but it is what it is. That'd be a -4. And then I'll have a decision to make on Saliba or Simicast. Really not sure on that one. Really not sure. One's definitely a better defense. The other one is up against a team that have no defense. And so, Gomez played half tonight. There was still always a chance that Gomez could play. I think I'd probably side on the nailed on Saliba and bench Simicast. I think that's where my head leans on it. But Brighton have scored 23 games in a row.
Yeah.
So how good's that either? Do you know what I mean? Like they both feel like they could clean, but you'd be surprised if they did.
I mean, look, like if you had a coin and you had Gabriel on one side and Simicast on the other, sorry, not Gabriel, Saliba, obviously, and you flipped it and you said Saliba was heads and you flipped heads, you'd accept the decision, right? I think.
Mm.
And I think if you flip tails with Simicast, you go, I'll just do 2 out of 3. And as soon as you say 2 out of 3, you know you're only doing that because you want the other one.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. And I've been asking everybody, have you got both? Are you playing them both? Are you playing them both? Because all I'm wanting is someone to tell me they're going to bench Simicast so I can do it. Because in my brain it says he's shit. Just bench him.
Yeah. I've got no choice to play him.
Yeah. But I also don't like the idea of only going in with Salah in that game. So I suspect I'll bench Simicast for it. If Haaland's okay, well, I've got decisions to make because I've got 1.6 million and Gibbs White, which is 7.3.
Saka's still 8.9, or has he gone up to 9?
Yeah, well out of it. Well out of it. If Foden was within price range, I would be really considering Foden because I figure.
Oh, sorry. How much is Gibbs White?
5.4,
yeah,
something like that. Yeah, actually 5.4, something like that. I've got about 7 million.
Oh, okay. What did you say? I thought you said 7.3 a second ago.
I think I don't even know. I'll tell you. That's what I've tried
I'm sure
to
you
say
said 7.3,
so
and I was like 7.3, 1.6, 8.9. That's Saka.
No. I can spend 7.3.
Oh, okay. You can
spend 7.3 or below. So I'm in the market at 7.3 or below.
we know where this goes. We know where this conversation's going.
Well,
we know where this conversation's going, mate.
I could go if it was just Haaland, and he was fine. I could go all the way down to. I could go to Tav.
No, you don't want Tav. You don't want Tav. But carry on.
Then, well, that would give me a.
I know, but I'd rather you just get to the one that we want to talk about.
Or I could buy Richarlison.
Yes, that's the one. Get the old pigeon there. Get him in there.
Buy Richarlison, and I could have, and I'd have to try and spell it that I'm not just full Spurs bias and having triple Spurs whilst having no Arsenal attack. I'd have to try and dissuade people from thinking that.
I love it.
I'd have to say that what I'm doing is getting ahead of the game. Yep. Because in about 3 weeks' time, everyone's going to sell Son for Richarlison, but I've already got him. So I'll just do Son to Saka then.
Yeah, I like it.
That's what I'll be trying to tell myself.
Yeah.
It's
a
risk, but
it is a bit of a risk. I'm just trying to remind myself of the fixtures. I don't have them on screen. That's annoying.
All right, they're goals type fixtures. The next 3, obviously we've got Forest, we've got Everton, we've got Brighton.
Yeah. But goals. I'm thinking, no, I was trying to remind myself of the Bournemouth fixtures, which are obviously Luton, Forest, Fulham.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like Tav. I think it's a good cheap shout. But yeah, we know him. We know where my heart is. So I'm kind of hopeful. Haaland's okay, and I can go and get myself a little bit of rich. I'm also partly like, be out Haaland because I could bring Solanke and Saka in, who are much higher owned, and I'd sleep really comfortably for the whole weekend.
You'd be like Homer. You'd be like Homer.
Yeah. Just like... Trippier's not playing. I own Saka. I own Solanke. No one's going to hurt me. I could just sit there. I've already got Porro. It'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Stewie
Bryan saying, have you considered Kulusevski?
I have.
The problem is that Richarlison plays in front of Kulusevski and he's still a midfielder and he's cheaper. I guess but
Kulusevski's going to get all the minutes, isn't he? He is going to get all the minutes. But it's Richarlison. It's Richarlison. I for me, it's Richarlison, Brent, and then Kulusevski in terms of where I would go with them. Albeit, I feel like Kulusevski's floor is the highest of that. Like, I feel like he can. But he should return in every game because he plays all 90 minutes and he is always involved. You know, he's our main creator now.
Yeah.
But um, but Richarlison's to plan number 9.
Yeah, I just, you know, he feels to me like a bit of a budget Darwin though. As much as I love him,
Oh yeah,
he's such a budget Darwin. It's insane. Like, you know,
a budget Darwin that
numbers.
likes to get booked.
Yeah, yeah, doesn't help. Doesn't help. But now that his
Yeah.
arse is fixed or whatever, his groin or whatever,
His pube.
his pube. Yeah,
It was his pube
pubic
bone.
bone.
Yeah.
So now that that's all fixed, then
You just know Richarlison's got 1-pointers in him. That's the
yeah.
danger with him, innit? You just know he has.
Yeah, you don't need everyone to
just
hit
know
though.
it's-
I mean, like last week, I could have used more than one person getting a return, but yeah, I mean, you only need a few of them. I suppose you can take a
Yeah.
punt on a Richarlison when he gets like what he did this week, which was, did you get 13, 14?
Yeah.
Something like that. I guess.
It's big.
Should we do
It's
some
big,
questions?
Do some questions.
Do some questions. Obviously, as always, big thanks to the guys that support us on Patreon, patreon.com/AboveAverageFPL. Come and join us on the Discord. There's a couple of people that have joined recently, so they have not joined the Discord. If you're listening, just join the Discord. It's fun. It's games, it's chat. I mean, or just give us money for nothing. It's fine. You know, whatever. either or. And we will keep sending out. We'll keep sending out mugs and coasters and stuff like that. Somebody took the piss out of our coasters the other day. I had to check because they were muted, but they were like, coasters, what? Mate, they're everywhere. I want to see them on Christmas dinner tables. That's what I want to see them.
They haven't got them.
Oh, definitely not. Not getting them. Not getting them. Would you still sell Salah and Son if you've got significant value tied up in them for the blanks? Would require big sacrifices to get them back.
I need to add some context to this story, and it's Andy Mack asking it. Do you know what Andy Mack's team value is? 106 million.
What?
106 million is Andy Mack's team value.
Yes, you can afford them. You can afford them. It's fine. Yeah.
Big sacrifice. Nah, mate, it won't. Because there's 12 million players that play this game, mate. Like, do you not think as soon as they see the red, it all disappears? Look at it. Haaland just gets a yellow flag and people start selling them. Like, do you not think once it says red, red, red or whatever it is?
Yeah, they'll be straight. Yeah, loads of people will be selling. They'll go down like 0.3. Because they're not leaving the league, their prices don't get frozen, surely.
No, they don't get frozen. They only get frozen when the red flag comes off. So this is where it gets really confusing for people. Is it will just basically say red flag. It won't show blank fixtures or anything like that because they have got fixtures.
Yeah.
It'll just be like, you're red flagged. And it'll be like, bang, see you later. Get them gone.
103.9 I've got.
That's better than me. I think I've got 103.6 maybe.
Mate,
I haven't looked at it this week.
4.9 million OR. It's
well,
genuinely hilarious.
Once you got the money in, it'll come.
Shout out to Michael Saville though for, I think it was like the Scouts admin said, I'm facing like a 5 million OR in my cup team, but he's still active. Who are you? And he just came straight in. He says, you're facing Adam, are you? Funny bastard.
I saw that team. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Some
good teams down here, mate. Some really good teams.
There's no bad teams.
Some really good teams down here.
Bad teams.
Is the wheels return confirmed? Yes.
Yeah, we're getting the wheel out.
We'll get the wheel out.
Christmas.
We'll get the wheel out. Definitely. Looks like everyone's gone quiet. We're not frozen again, are we? Surely not.
Everyone's waiting, mate, for Haaland news. Everyone's waiting. Just get your plans in. Get your plans in. What do you do if he's playing? What do you do if he's not playing? Or what do you do if it's somewhere in between?
If you had to choose a Villa midfielder for week 18 onwards, who would it be?
I think you have to go Doug because he's got his ban. It's done. So he's okay. And he's on pens. And the DRB Bailey thing is just too. You just don't know.
Zaniolo scored tonight.
Exactly. Like it's so horrible to try and work it out.
Yeah.
Jimenez thoughts?
I mean,
I like it.
yeah, it does feel reactionary, right? Like I mean, he scored 4 in his last 5. I
Yeah.
had no idea he'd been scoring goals until this week. Like, it just kind of just happened. I wasn't really paying attention. I mean, obviously they've scored 16 goals in the last 4 games, so you expect the striker to get some of those. But
The good thing,
I didn't
the good,
really see that coming, to be quite honest.
yeah.
And I think it's
I
one that
can't
those
see
have
a
just gone.
world where it's your priority this week, but there is a world where, um, so I can see myself buying Jimenez next week, um, in the fact that they've got Burnley, at home, and I want to try and leave myself enough money in the bank. That means, so another reason why I quite like the Richarlison one is it leaves enough money that I could go Archer to Jimenez next week
Okay.
rather than play Archer. Um, that would be if I kept Haaland. If I sold Haaland, I wouldn't even consider Jimenez because there'd be so many others that you could look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, just stick to the big ones.
Yeah. All right, a couple more. If Gordon was your 7th attacker with no 8th, would you take? Oh, he's got Chukwuemeka, I guess. Would you
Yes.
take a hit for a mid like Bowen this week, just in case you need them for 18 anyway? I probably would. I think I probably wouldn't go to Bowen though. Like, I know they've got Wolves this week, which is okay. Wolves are getting better. These middling teams, these lower middling teams are getting better, and then United could be an okay fixture for them. I don't know.
Sounds like you got a lot of money in the bank as well, Dan. Like, again, I would be tempted on someone like Tav, that you mentioned.
Yeah.
A cheapo.
Or
And not commit to it.
Yeah.
Especially if it's your 8, going to be your 8.
I still think you can punt on Sterling. I still think you can punt on Sterling as well. I mean, the fixtures are just too good. And he's got 2 promoted sides in the next 5. Like, he steamrolls these guys.
I think it's a little bit easier for you to do it because you've got 8 attackers as well, though. Like I was saying, is if he's just 7th and then you've got an 8th, then it starts getting a bit. There's potential problems that you run into with it. If you just wanted an 8th attacker, like you must have that money sitting about waiting. If you've got,
if you've got 6 mil Gordon, you can go to if you've got a 6 mil Gordon, you can go to Bowen.
You got a million.
You got $1.5 million.
Yeah, I would be tempted
1.8
to do it on a cheap one.
Yeah, I didn't. The weird thing is, in a couple of weeks, we may. It's going to be really hard to, but we may want to start reconsidering Brighton assets.
Yeah, but even that, Brighton, like the fixtures are good, start getting good, but with no Matoma and Adingra, how good is it going to be? Like, it's
at least you know.
Gross. Gross is the one.
He's going to be really good. He could be really good.
Gross is the one.
Could Purvis will be back? Purvis will be back by then.
Maybe.
Well, I saw something. I mean, I don't know whether it was bullshit or just a tweet or whatever, but somebody saw Purvis coming out of the stadium the other day, and he said a couple of weeks or something like that.
He said 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. So,
I could do it.
Couple of weeks. That's probably what he just said it like that.
If you genuinely, let's put the bet now, Andy's asking us, do you think Haaland will play or not? Let's have our guess.
I think he's on the bench, and I think he comes on.
Do you? Wow. I haven't even considered that, to be fair. I've just considered no play or play.
Yeah, but I like to think of stupid shit, so it's fine.
I think he plays. I think he starts.
Final question. Will we be having turkey on Christmas Day?
Yes.
Turkey
and beef?
I think I'll be cooking the beef. I'll be part cooking the beef on Christmas Day to have on Boxing Day, I think. Like, finish off on Boxing Day.
It's got the other way around. I would be like, beef will be the main meat and turkey will be like, you'll have some turkey as well, but you'll have most of the turkey on Boxing Day.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to go that direction, but I get overruled. So
you do get overruled.
Yeah,
you do get overruled.
But the beef will give me something to monitor and manage On Christmas Day, let the kids do what they want, play and
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
keep out of the way. I've just got to check the beef. Yeah, exactly. Little beer. We'll see whether it's snowing or not. Might be snowing.
Yeah,
you know.
White Christmas.
Might be. How long have we been going? Are we actually still going? Are we not frozen? We're good.
We're not frozen, mate. We're done.
Happy
Let's
days.
go, though. We're out of here. We're
Happy
done.
days. Cool, man. Right. Richard Mellor says 2 meat. Yes. The more meat, the better.
I'm trying to work out whether I need a ham as well.
Have you got visitors?
This is where it sounds even worse. There's only 4 adults.
There's only 2 up here, mate.
Only 4 adults, and we've got 4 kilos of meat.
That is sensational.
4 adults.
Do you live in a Toby?
And a 4-year-old. Do you live in a Toby?
We're done. Do you live in a Toby? We're done.
Fantastic.
Cool. Right, guys. Thanks as always. On the way out, like, comment, subscribe, that stuff, and we'll see you Sunday. Cheers, mate.
See you later.